Imagine this, a tired single dad boards a plane with his little daughter, their eyes full of excitement because it's the first time they've ever traveled together on a flight. But in the middle of their journey, something happens that not only changes their trip, but their entire future. By the end, you'll be amazed at who really sat behind them, and why this story has the power to inspire millions. Stay with me till the end, and if you believe kindness can change lives, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more true stories. It was a rainy evening at the airport. Daniel, a hard-working single father in his late 30s, carried a small backpack on his shoulder while holding tightly to his daughter Lily's hand. Lily was 7 years old, bright-eyed, curious, and full of life, but life had not been easy for either of them. After his wife passed away from illness, Daniel had raised Lily alone while working double shifts as a mechanic. Traveling was never something they could afford. But after years of saving every spare coin, Daniel finally decided to give Lily the gift of her dreams, a trip on an airplane. To Lily, airplanes were magical. She would watch them from her window every night, whispering that one day, she and her dad would fly together above the clouds. Tonight, that dream was finally coming true. But when they got to the gate, Daniel noticed something troubling. Their economy tickets had been accidentally double-booked. The flight was oversold. An argument broke out between several frustrated passengers, and Lily clutched her father's sleeve nervously. Daniel pleaded with the staff, explaining this was his daughter's first-ever flight. The gate agent, clearly overwhelmed, sighed and said, "Sir, we only have 2 seats left, but they're in first class." Daniel froze. First class? He couldn't possibly afford that. He shook his head, ready to give up, but then the agent explained, "It's our mistake. Please, take them. No extra charge." Lily's eyes lit up. "Daddy, does that mean we get to sit in the fancy seats?" she asked, bouncing with joy. Daniel chuckled softly and nodded, though deep down, he felt uncomfortable stepping into a world that wasn't his. They boarded, and the difference was obvious. Plush seats, fine dining, passengers in designer suits and sparkling jewelry. Daniel felt out of place in his worn jacket, and Lily, though cheerful, could sense her dad's unease. She whispered, "It's okay, Daddy. We can just pretend." And with that, she leaned back in the huge seat, giggling at how her legs didn't even reach the footrest. Other passengers glanced at them curiously, some with disapproval. A few whispered about how a man who clearly didn't belong was sitting in their section. Daniel pretended not to notice, but, inside, the shame burned. Still, he smiled for Lily, asking the flight attendant for extra orange juice when she asked shyly. As the plane took off, Lily pressed her face against the window, squealing, "We're flying. We're really flying." Her joy melted Daniel's heart. For a moment, all the exhaustion and pain of the last few years vanished. A few rows behind, a woman in her 40s observed them quietly. She was elegant, calm, and carried an air of authority. Most people in the cabin recognized her, though Daniel did not. Her name was Victoria Hale, the CEO of the entire airline. She rarely traveled on her own flights, but tonight she was heading to a conference abroad. Victoria noticed the way Daniel carefully tucked a blanket around Lily when she dozed off, how he didn't touch the champagne offered to him, and how his hands, rough and calloused from years of labor, gently stroked his daughter's hair. Something about the scene stirred memories deep inside her. Memories of her own father, a factory worker who once worked day and night just to pay for her schooling. She thought about how he never lived long enough to see her success. During the flight, Lily woke up and began drawing on the back of an old receipt Daniel gave her. She drew an airplane with 2 stick figures inside, a man and a little girl smiling together. She walked over shyly to show it to the flight attendant, who laughed softly and passed it around. Eventually, the picture landed on Victoria's tray table. She studied it, her heart softening. She decided to speak to them. She walked over, her presence commanding the attention of everyone nearby. Daniel immediately grew nervous. He assumed she was another wealthy passenger about to complain. Instead, Victoria knelt down to Lily's level and asked, "Is this your drawing?" "It's beautiful." Lily smiled proudly. "That's me and Daddy. It's our first time flying. One day, I'll be a pilot, and I'll take him everywhere." Victoria's throat tightened. She glanced at Daniel, who shifted uncomfortably. "I'm sorry if she's bothering anyone," he murmured. "She just gets excited." "Not at all," Victoria said gently. "She reminds me of myself when I was her age." The rest of the flight passed with small moments like that. Victoria offered Lily a set of Airline branded wings, and Daniel eventually loosened up, even sharing bits of his story when asked. He spoke of raising Lily alone, of working long hours, of wanting to show her the world but struggling to afford even the basics. He never complained, he simply stated the facts with quiet dignity. When the plane landed, passengers began disembarking. Daniel gathered their small bag, ready to disappear back into the crowd. But before they could leave, Victoria stopped